Art imitates life. No piece of art escapes the trappings of the world that birthed it. This can be seen in the tragedies and comedies of the Greeks and Romans, the visual art of the Renaissance, or even the movies and television shows of today. Art will always carry with it the unique circumstances of the world around it, and nowhere is that more true than in science fiction. While science fiction has always had a strong tradition of social commentary, this is especially true during the new wave of science fiction, which lasted roughly from 1968 to 1985 and is the focus here. Now, the new wave of science fiction was a pushback against perceived stagnation within the genre, going all the way back to the perceived golden age of the 1940s. This put it hand in hand with the revolutionary period around it of the late 1960s and 1970s, which saw the emergence of the women's movement, the LGBT plus movement, as well as the emergence of the new right, which would come to elect Ronald Reagan and was seen as the bolstering of the conservative base of America. Now, the new wave sought to push its social commentary, push the genre to its edges by depicting graphic sex and violence and injustice and racism in an effort to show the world that it was created in. Now, this project sought to establish a connection between three major novels from the new wave and the revolutionary world that birthed them. Specifically looking at the period of 1968 to 1985, this project took those three novels, The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin, published in 1968, A Scanner Darkly by Philip K. Dick, published in 1974, and Neuromancer by William Gibson, published in 1984, and specifically looked at the traditional science fiction theme of the alien, the other, and alienation, and sought out how that theme connected to the period at large. What was found was that the sources of alienation felt by the protagonists could be linked to the world around it. In The Left Hand of Darkness, it comes at the hands of gender and sexuality and non-traditional or non-normative gender and sexuality, giving it a direct link to the emerging women's movement seeking equality and the LGBT movement seeking to be seen in the late 1960s and 70s. In A Scanner Darkly, it can be tied to the emerging war on drugs, its immense enforcement during the 1970s and even today, and the soaring addiction rates in major American cities. Finally, in Neuromancer, it comes at the hands of rapidly developing technology, specifically a form of the internet, which the protagonist Case uses as his constant escape from the harsh, corporatized world around him, which can be seen as the emergence of the new right and its focus on the upper 1% of society. What can be concluded from this is quite simple, that the new wave was a reaction not only to the perceived stagnation in the genre, but was also, in fact, a continuation of science fiction's reaction and commentary on the world around it. And that this fact shows that science fiction itself can be used as a valuable and quite blunt resource in understanding the depths of these social revolutions and the systems they were fighting against, moving out of the golden age and its classic space operas into the 1950s and its bleak depictions of the future, which were direct results of the Cold War. The new wave itself took the revolutions around it, both on the left and the right, and pushed them to their extremes, and shows a very stark and blunt depiction of what these movements and these elements of society can do if put to their extremes. Thank you.